with Chris Novoselic and NirvaNa, and we did previously have an interview with them, and the sound quality turned out to be null and void, so we are repeating it. And, well, Chris, I got some questions to ask you, and we made up some new ones so you'd have more of a lively response to them instead of repeating old ones. So anyway, I'll start off with some questions about the band. What is the band doing now, and what are some future plans?
Well, right now we're just kind of taking it easy, laying around, sleeping in, trying to acquire the patent for the shovel.
Can we expect more videos or singles from NirvaNa?
Oh yeah, I just saw a rough cut of the Lithium video. Kurt's been working with a guy named Kevin Kerslake who did Come As You Are. He's been working with him down in LA on this video, and it's a compilation of live shots taken from a show we did at the Paramount on Halloween of 1991. It's pretty neat.
Would that'd of course be quite different maybe than the original low production of it that was used for like TCTV and local access television channels?
Oh yeah, not that I watch a lot of that stuff, you know. I mean, even any kind of production, whether it's a video or audio, has its own merit. I mean, it just depends on what kind of perspective you put on it. You could put on a very elitist type audio video file perspective on it. Say, you know, you're into the latest technology, but a lot of times, you know, you can look at things with, you know, a Super 8 camera, and it'll have a quality of its own. So it just depends on the perspective you put on it.
This is something I've been wondering, because I bought NirvaNa recently, and the lyrics and stuff, like many people say, are questionable as what they mean. Do all your songs have some underlying meaning?
Well, you know, I don't want to talk about the lyrics because they are Kurt's lyrics, but, you know, I've heard him express that he likes to keep things cryptic and open-ended. But I think he knows what the song means, and the songs have meanings for me, too. And they affect me personally, and probably different than, say, maybe they'd affect you.
Even maybe Smells Like Teen Spirit would have its own underlying meaning?
Yeah, there's a meaning behind Teen Spirit.
Okay,
But nothing's really concrete, you know. Never mind. I don't know. Right now we're just kind of kicking back and not doing anything, and next month we're all going to get together and start writing songs, and there's some songs already written, and we're just going to start making some noise and see what comes out of it.
Okay, do you consider yourselves above playing parties and college dorms?
No, never, ever. I mean, we don't consider ourselves above anything, because once you start doing that, I mean, you're not really thinking clearly. You're being wrapped up and swept away in something that's probably not that healthy for yourself or for other people.
Have you or will you play small gigs or whatever since you're signed up with?
Yeah, because those are the best. You get to share more things with people than just being isolated from them, being, you know, behind a barrier, or somebody else is on the back of the stadium. It's pretty far away and it seems kind of impersonal, you know. But like if we were to announce that we were going to play at the Vogue, you know,
big riot probably.
Yeah, it'd be insane. So, you know, it's really not our fault that we can't play small places. So we kind of have to just sneak in and do it.
So have you done that? Have you shown up unexpectedly into some club or?
Not yet, but I'd like to, sure.
What's the deal with that nameless song at the end of Nevermind?
Oh, that song. Well, that song, a guitar got smashed during the recording of that song, and we were just screwing around with that. There's really no name for that song, and CDs or kind of a new format, and we thought we'd screw around with it, you know, like the Beatles put an extra groove at the end of their record with some gibberish or something. We thought we'd put 10 minutes of gibberish, or, you know, a song. And there's something to be said for songs like that too, because it is a song, even though it was like improvisational, but there was some structure to it. There was some like parameters we worked in, but we just kind of got on it like a roller coaster and just saw where it took us, you know.
I was told that after the first 50,000 copies of Nevermind, then you had that extra track on there. But wasn't really a track. It was part of the last track of Something in the Way.
No, it's an extra track, but it's not like on the way CDs are programmed.
Yeah, it I heard it continues for like 10 minutes of silence or something like that, and then the song starts playing.
Oh, you haven't heard it, huh?
No, I bought Nevermind a few weeks ago, and I was told about that. And of course, I don't have one of the first 50,000 copies. I went over to a retail store and bought it, and it did not have the extra track on there.
Did you wait 10 minutes? Did it go 12 and then went back to
No,
start?
it went to 12. I played all of Something in the Way, and it just stopped right there at the end of Something in the Way. And of course I was like, what's going on here? And I talked to other people and stuff, and they said it should have, if it was past the first 50,000 copies, it should have had the 10 minutes of silence. But it didn't, and the first 50,000 copies sold out, you know, as you said, in the first 2 days.
Right.
So I'm like wondering what's going on, whether that's something maybe the company did separately, or I don't know what.
It's not supposed to be like that. I mean, somebody made a decision, took it upon themselves to make a decision. I don't know anything about it, so that's too bad. I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, I don't even have one with that song on it.
Okay. I think I'll skip that, because you could start getting into what we got into on the last conversation with Pasha mentioning a certain CD from Sub Pop or whatever, and that was very unfounded, and it could, you know, that could get into legal tangles and all that. So I'll just skip that right now. This is one I'm really very curious about. What do you think about Tori Amos and Weird Al Yankovic doing covers of your songs?
Oh, well, Tori Amos is pretty funny. I mean,
I haven't heard that, but I've seen a video of hers and her style of music playing. I can't picture her playing Teen Spirit.
It's a lot like Kate Bush. I don't know. It just sounds pretty funny. It sounds like it'd be a parody, a better parody than
Weird Al.
Weird Al.
Did she do it as a joke, or was it serious?
No, she's really serious about it. You know, if she wants to express herself in that way, I mean, that's fine.
And you guys gave her the permission to use that song?
No, she just did it. I mean, she did it legally, you know. There's certain ways you do it legally. You just have to pay what's prescribed legally. Like, you have to pay the publishing and list the writers and the publishing company and all that, or credit the writers. And I don't know, she just did it, and, well, you know, whatever.
What about...
Weird Al's hilarious.
Yeah, I saw the video, like, you know, like, day or two after it premiered, and it was a really great parody of the original. Current events, what do you think of the Rodney King trial and the protests related to it?
Oh, wow. Well, I think everything, the protest is fine, and all that rioting, I mean, that mentality, the riot has always been with us, but it's been within our minds, and it's been within the minds of, like, the African American community in Los Angeles, and it just took something like that for it to materialize. And I mean, the emotions are going to subside, of the emotions of rage and the reactions that came along with it, but the deeper things of, like, racism and economic injustices, I mean, these are real problems, and I don't think that elected representatives have really been addressing it. They've just been kind of sweeping it under the rug, and then for something like this to surface, you know, it's not really a surprise.
Do you think the looting of stores and so on is a result of the riots or the decision?
Excuse me?
Do you think that, like, the looting of stores and the You know, the damaging of property, do you think that's part of the riots or the protests or part of the verdict itself?
Well, it grew out of a protest, but I mean, there's so many implications. Like, the people are poor, and they've just been having all these hard times economically, and especially if you live in a city like Los Angeles, where you walk down the streets poor, and there's all these Mercedes and Jaguars driving by, and you look up all on the hills all around town, and there's like multi-millionaires living up there, you know? And a lot of the people who have millions of dollars worked really hard for that, you know? And a lot happened. And a lot of the people that perpetuated all that violence and looting were nothing short of thieves and thugs taking advantage of that situation.
This is quite off the subject and quite a one-sided issue. How do you feel about abortion?
Well, if I was really confronted with the option, I'm not going to say what I'd do, but, you know, I've seen what's become of abortions, and it seems like a pretty gruesome thing, but there's so many variations to consider in other people's situations, and people should be responsible for their own actions, and how that I don't know how I hope you understand how I relate that to the whole abortion thing. It's like a person's own choice. A lot of these girls are just confused, and they're getting pregnant in high school, and you know, I guess they can give up the kid for adoption, but most of them don't. Most of them keep the child, and you know, my brother had a kid, and he's having a lot of problems now. You know, and it could have been an abortion, the problem could have been over, but then again, I like that little kid, you know, he's a neat baby. I don't have the capacity to carry around a child for 9 months, so I don't think my opinion is as relevant as 50% of the human race is, you know?
Yeah. Last time I talked to you, I found out that you are of Croatian descendants.
Right.
And that you lived in Croatia for a year. How old were you at that time?
Oh, I was 15 or 16 years old.
What was life like there in Croatia?
Oh, it was very nice. People were really down to earth, and school was a real experience. School was really serious there. Education, you had to study a lot, and you had a lot more courses you had to take, and it was economically not as advanced as the West. It was more third world-like, but there was inklings of like Western culture all over, and influence all over. It was a pretty neat place, you know, and people seemed, they had a pretty cool disposition, you know. And then economically things went down the tubes, and people started grabbing for things and pointing fingers, and lines were drawn along ethnic lines. Next thing you know, 10,000 people were killed, and countless others injured and maimed, you know, injured emotionally from the loss of their previous life and loved ones. And it gets pretty discouraging, really, what's going on. But I've always believed in the saying, what's the value of preaching if man isn't redeemable? So, you know, that's always kept me going.
Yeah, this is kind of back to the band.
Right.
Do you think success has or will change you?
Well, it's changed things, but I don't know if it's changed me. I don't think it has, because I've been ignoring it and denying it so much. You know, people coming up and asking for autographs, or pointing at me, or staring at me, or whispering about me in a safe way. I'm getting used to that, but I think me going out there and instead of hiding away will kind of dispel all that cult of celebrity.
Like Elvis being walked away in Graceland.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't want to participate in that, and I mean, financially, it's changed things for me. But you know, I just kind of deal with it, really. I don't want, you know, I don't want it to change me to where I have to hide out or be like Michael Jackson or wear a disguise, because I'll just go out and go anywhere. Go skateboarding around, walking around, you know.
Yeah. Would the band go on if either you or Kurt decided to leave?
It just depends on what terms we left on, or what, you know.
Because you see a certain chemistry there in some bands, where just a few of the members happen to, you know,
Well, I know
be the center of the group, you know.
yeah,
Because
but
they're
I
usually
think
the founders of the group.
No, yeah, I don't know. Kurt's kind of the main guru of the band, but he's the last one to admit that. And we all have a stake in the band. I think if Dave was to leave the band, I think the band would break up, because we'd never go through that thing of finding
Another
a drummer.
drummer.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, you know.
That was basically the last question.
Oh, okay.
And also we can take a tour of your house.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what do you want to see?
Stars the TV show watchers don't care what they see, really. I mean.
Oh, I don't want to show people my house.
Oh, okay.
Come and rip it off. Yeah. That was painless.